Good evening. Bollywood star Shah Rukh Khan is in the eye of a storm over the selection of Bangladesh's left-hand pacer Mustafizur Rahman in the Kolkata Knight Riders team for the upcoming edition of the Indian Premier League. Former BJP MLA Sangeet Som has gone to the extent of calling SRK a gaddar or a traitor. And there are several Hindu saints and seers and religious godmen who are up in arms over the selection of a Bangladesh player when Hindus are being systematically targeted in Bangladesh. But the question we ask on India First, is Shah Rukh Khan a soft target? Should questions be posed to the Indian Premier League management and to the BCCI?
No end to Hindu hate in Bangladesh. A 40-year-old is mobbed, stabbed and set ablaze. As Bangladesh burns, a KKR deal row rages on. Mustafizur deal questioned.
Shah Rukh Khan जैसे गद्दार आज वहां के रहमान जैसे क्रिकेटरों को 9.5 करोड़ में खरीदने का काम कर रहे हैं.
King Khan is tagged as a traitor.
बांग्लादेश के जिस क्रिकेटर को केकेआर ने अपनी टीम आईपीएल में जगह दी है उसे तत्काल प्रभाव से निकाल देना चाहिए. उसकी कोई जरूरत नहीं है.
While Congress and TMC defend India's superstar.
बीजेपी जो कर रहे हैं ये कम्युनलिज्म है. बीजेपी का लीडर जो बोल रहे हैं कम्युनलिज्म है.
इसमें भाजपा की सहमति, अमित शाह के बेटे की सहमति जैसा की है, तब वो आज शाहरुख खान ने उनको खरीदा है.
Battle lines drawn over Bangladesh and the Badshah. That's a big focus on India First.
There have been over 2,900 documented instances of targeting of Hindus and other minorities in Bangladesh since the takeover of the interim administration of Nobel laureate Professor Muhammad Yunus. And these include lynchings, arson, rapes, targeted attacks on temples and churches and Buddhist monasteries and land grab. 2,900 cases plus. There's rising anger in India, and Shah Rukh Khan taking a Bangladesh player in KKR has added fresh fuel to fire. Should Bangladesh players be banned from playing in India like Pakistan players were post 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks? But instead of blaming Shah Rukh Khan, should questions not be asked of the BCCI and the Indian Premier League management, because Shah Rukh Khan is just a soft target? Now, Sangeet Som is a BJP leader. He joins me on the show in just a moment. We'll talk to him in greater detail. I'm Gaurav Sawant. As always, let's get started. Bollywood superstar Shah Rukh Khan is in the eye of a storm over Indian Premier League franchisee Kolkata Knight Riders taking Mustafizur Rahman, a Bangladesh pacer in the KKR team at a time when India-Bangladesh ties are at an all-time low, and almost every other day there are reports of Hindus and other minorities being targeted in Bangladesh. Sangeet Som is a firebrand BJP leader, former MLA. He went to the extent of calling Shah Rukh Khan a traitor, saying Bangladesh players will not be permitted to play in India come what may. There has been no reaction from either the Kolkata Knight Riders or even the Indian Premier League management, but the question is, Shah Rukh Khan, is he a soft target? Because if you have questions, take these questions to the Indian Premier League and the BCCI. We get you more in this report.
Cricket clashes with nationalism all over again. Only this time with the other neighbor, Bangladesh. Shah Rukh Khan has bought a Bangladeshi pacer for his IPL franchisee Kolkata Knight Riders. The KKR signed Mustafizur Rahman for rupees 9.20 crores in the IPL 2026 auction. As the only Bangladeshi player in the tournament, Mustafizur has become the center of a controversy. Many are questioning how a star like Shah Rukh Khan can invest in talent from a country where Hindus are facing persecution. Some have even called the actor a traitor.
वहां हिंदुओं का कत्लेआम करेंगे वो शाहरुख खान जैसे गद्दार देश में उन्हें खरीद कर 9.5 करोड़ रुपया देने का काम करेंगे, ये बिल्कुल नहीं चलेगा और भारत की जनता इसे बिल्कुल बर्दाश्त नहीं करेगी।
बंगाली सनातनी हिंदुओं की हत्या की जा रही है, उनकी संपत्ति लूटी जा रही है, महिलाओं के साथ बलात्कार किया जाता है और बलात्कार करने वाले लोग उसका वीडियो बनाकर यूट्यूब पर अपलोड करते हैं। ऐसे लोगों के साथ किसी भी तरह का जो संबंध रखता है वो देश के गद्दार है।
हम शाहरुख खान से अपील करेंगे कि आप इस देश के महान हीरो हैं, आपको लाखों करोड़ लोग चाहते हैं, आप भी इस देश को चाहिए, आप भी इस देश के साथ खड़े रहिए। बांग्लादेश के जिस क्रिकेटर को केकेआर ने अपनी टीम आईपीएल में जगह दी है, उसे तत्काल प्रभाव से निकाल देना चाहिए, उसकी कोई जरूरत नहीं है।
Shah Rukh has remained silent and his team has not responded to criticism. The Congress has put the spotlight on the BCCI, ICC and the Home Minister.
इसमें भाजपा की सहमति अमित शाह के बेटे की सहमति जैसा की है, तब वो आज शाहरुख खान ने उनको खरीदा है और उनको इसमें यहाँ पर उनको खिलाया जाएगा। मुझे लगता है कि पूरी तरीके से भाजपा के लोग मिलकर ये सारा खेल कर रहे हैं।
एक प्लेयर खरीदने पर, बांग्लादेश का प्लेयर खरीदने पर अगर शाहरुख खान देशद्रोही हैं तो शेख हसीना को भारत के अंदर शरण देने वाले क्या नरेंद्र मोदी देशद्रोही हो जाएंगे? ये क्या बकवास! शाहरुख खान जैसे कलाकार युगों में पैदा हुए।
Rahul Gandhi, on the other hand, defended Shah Rukh Khan, saying he cannot be labelled a traitor, calling attacks on him an attack on India's pluralism and warning that hate must not defend nationalism. Shah Rukh Khan's IPL signing has turned a sports story into a political debate. Fans are divided. Critics say talent cannot outweigh human rights. And the controversy rages on. Bureau Report, India Today.
And joining me on this India First special broadcast is former BJP MLA संगीत सोम। संगीत सोम जी, देश के सबसे लोकप्रिय अभिनेताओं में से एक है शाहरुख खान। आपने उन्हें देशद्रोही या गद्दार इस तरह के शब्दों का इस्तेमाल आखिर क्यों किया सर? क्योंकि बांग्लादेश के खिलाड़ी को अपनी टीम में लेना क्या देश के साथ गद्दारी है?
गौरव भाई, जो भारत का जिस हीरो को आप भारत का सबसे लोकप्रिय हीरो कह रहे हैं, वो किसने बनाया है? भारत के लोगों ने बनाया है ना। भारत के ही लोगों ने बनाया, तो उन्हें भारत की भावनाओं का ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा ना। देखिए, ये भारत है, भारत प्रतिभा का सम्मान करता है, लेकिन जब वो गलत काम करेंगे, अगर देशद्रोह का काम करेंगे तो देशद्रोही कहा जाएगा। जब उन्होंने एक अच्छा काम किया, फिल्मों में अच्छा काम किया, फिल्मों के लिए अच्छा काम किया, लोगों के मनोरंजन का काम किया, तो उन्हें पद्मश्री अवार्ड भी भारत नहीं दिया। लेकिन आज जब बांग्लादेश में पूरा हिंदुओं का कत्लेआम हो रहा है, बहन बेटियों के साथ जिस तरीके से आज वहां बलात्कार हो रहे हैं, उनके साथ घर जलाए जा रहे हैं, व्यापारियों के संस्थान लूटे जा रहे हैं, उस समय पे अगर वो देश के साथ गद्दारी करेंगे, देश के लोगों की भावनाओं का ध्यान नहीं रखेंगे, तो गद्दार ही कहा जाएगा।
ठीक, लेकिन ये प्रश्न कि बांग्लादेश का खिलाड़ी भारत में आए या भारत में खेले या नहीं, ये तो या तो इंडियन प्रीमियर लीग के मैनेजमेंट से या बीसीसीआई से पूछना चाहिए। ये प्रश्न शाहरुख खान से क्यों? क्योंकि अगर वो पूल में है तो उन्होंने ऑक्शन में उनको लिया।
आप मुझे ये बताइए, अगर ऑप्शन में है, वो पहले से थे, तो मैं शाहरुख खान से ये पूछना चाहता हूं कि वो बांग्लादेश के ही क्यों खरीदें? अगर रहमान ही कोई खरीदना है, हमें इससे मतलब नहीं है। मुस्लिम खिलाड़ी तो भारत में भी बहुत है ना, दूसरी दुनिया के दूसरे देशों में भी बहुत हैं। लेकिन बांग्लादेश, जहां आज हिंदुओं के साथ अत्याचार हो रहा है, पूरे भारत के लोगों का उन्हें सेंटीमेंट समझना चाहिए। आज पूरे देश के सनातनी सब दुखी हैं। वहां जिस तरीके से हिंदुओं के साथ कत्लेआम हो रहा है, हर आदमी दुखी है वहां।
अच्छा, ये मुझे समझाइए, जैसे जिस तरह से पाकिस्तान से 26/11 के आतंकी हमले के बाद 2008 के बाद पाकिस्तान के खिलाड़ियों को नहीं लिया गया ऑक्शन में, फैसला या जो इंडिकेशन है वो तो सरकार की तरफ से आना चाहिए। शाहरुख खान तो ये निर्णय करते नहीं है कि लेना है या नहीं लेना है, वो तो सरकार निर्धारित करे। तो प्रश्न सरकार से नहीं होना चाहिए।
और ये फिर आज शाहरुख खान ने, गौरव भाई, आज शाहरुख खान ने पहली बार किया है क्या ये काम? वो कभी पाकिस्तान के साथ खड़े होते हैं, कभी पाकिस्तान के खिलाड़ियों के साथ खड़े होते हैं, और वो भारत में अपने आप को बोलते हैं वो भारत है जिसने पद्मश्री अवार्ड दिया उन्हें, और वो उस भारत के लिए बोला उन्हें। आप आज पहला काम थोड़ी है, पहले नहीं बोला क्या कि भारत में हम लोग अपने आप को असुरक्षित महसूस करते हैं? बताइए, भारत में दुनिया का कोई देश चले जाइए आप, अगर भारत में सबसे ज्यादा कोई सुरक्षित है तो भारत का मुस्लिम सुरक्षित है।
ठीक।
और वो भी आप कारण जानते हैं क्यों है? क्योंकि यहाँ बहुसंख्यक हिंदू है, और हिंदू कभी आतंकी नहीं होता, हिंदू कभी आतताई नहीं होता, हिंदू कभी किसी पे अत्याचार नहीं करता।
लेकिन आप पर और वो लोग जो इस समय शाहरुख खान को बुरा भला कह रहे हैं या गद्दार कह रहे हैं, कहा यह जा रहा है कि यह सस्ती लोकप्रियता के लिए किया जा रहा है और इसीलिए शाहरुख खान को और कोलकाता नाइट राइडर्स को निशाना बनाया जा रहा है।
शाहरुख खान कोई इतना बड़ा नहीं है कि वो सबसे बड़ा। शाहरुख खान हमसे बड़ा थोड़े बिना है, हम भी इसी देश के एक वासी हैं और शाहरुख खान भी इसी देश का वासी है। शाहरुख खान ही क्यों आप पकड़ के बैठ जाते? शाहरुख खान कौन शाहरुख खान होता है जी? शाहरुख खान एक फिल्मों में काम करने वाला है, हम राजनीतिक क्षेत्र में काम करते हैं, वो फिल्मों में काम करता है। फर्क इतना ही तो है भाई। हम लोगों की सेवा करते हैं, वो लोगों का मनोरंजन करके पैसा कमाते हैं।
नहीं तो ऐसे में जी आपका क्या मानना है? क्या बांग्लादेश के खिलाड़ियों पर अब प्रतिबंध लगा देना चाहिए कि अगर वो पाकिस्तान की राह पर जाते हैं या पाकिस्तान की तरह भारत में आतंक फैलता है तो बांग्लादेश के साथ स्पोर्ट्स के रिलेशनशिप को पर अंकुश लगना चाहिए?
देखिए गौरव भाई, भारत दुनिया की चौथी अर्थव्यवस्था है, हम बड़ा देश हैं, हम अपने पड़ोसी के साथ हमेशा संबंध रखना चाहते हैं और हमेशा अच्छे संबंध रखते हैं, लेकिन तब तक जब तक हमारे गले पे छुरा ना आ रहे हो। इस टाइम हिंदू को वहां कत्लेआम जिस तरीके से किया जा रहा है, ये दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है। हमने तो पाकिस्तान के साथ भी हमेशा अच्छे संबंध रखने की कोशिश की है, हमेशा अच्छे संबंध रखे हैं, लेकिन जब बॉर्डर पे हमारे सिपाहियों को मारा जाएगा, पहलगांव में हमारे लोगों को मारा जाएगा, तो जो पाकिस्तान के साथ हुआ वो कल को बांग्लादेश के साथ भी होगा, अगर बांग्लादेश इस बात को नहीं समझेगा तो।
Sangeet Somji for joining me here on this India Today special broadcast. Many thanks. Sangeet Som is very clear. The ball is in Bangladesh's court. Bangladesh has to stop atrocities against Hindus. But that question remains, shouldn't all these questions be posed to the BCCI or the Indian Premier League or the government or the Ministry of Home Affairs or the External Affairs, and why target superstar Shah Rukh Khan? Because let's talk about the situation in Bangladesh. It is a cause for grave concern. There was an attempt to lynch another Hindu just yesterday. Khokan Chandra, a pharmacy owner, was targeted last night. He was assaulted, he was stabbed, and then set on fire. He managed to jump into a pond to save his life, but he's currently battling for his life at a Dhaka hospital, and he isn't the only instance. There have been multiple cases of targeting of Hindus, from Deepu Chandra Das to Bijendra Biswas to Amrit Mandal, and other minorities have also been targeted, and there's panic amongst the minorities in Bangladesh. According to the Bangladesh Hindu Buddhist Christian Unity Council and other reports that emerged from Bangladesh, there have been more than 2,900 cases. Not one, not two, not three, not 100. 2,900 cases plus of targeting of minorities, whether it's murder, rape, arson, land grab, and more, since the Mohammed Yunus regime took over in Bangladesh. We get you more in this report. These three faces tell a chilling story of fear, violence, and repeated targeting. In Bangladesh, Hindus are once again under attack. In the latest, 40-year-old Khokan Chandra Das was stabbed, doused in petrol, and set on fire in an attempt to burn him alive. He jumped into a pond to save his life and is currently battling for his life in a hospital.
ওষুধের দোকান, বিকাশের দোকান বন্ধ করে বাড়িতে আইছে, বাড়িতে মনে করেন বাড়ির গাড়ায় পেট্রোল দিয়ে আগুন দিছে, গায়ে সাইডে কূপ দিছে, পেটের ইঠি বাইরে গেছে, মাথায় কূপ দিছে।
Khokan is just the latest name added to a growing list of victims. Weeks ago, it was Deep Chandra Das who was beaten to death and burnt, hung from a tree. And days later, Amrit Mandal was also lynched. Since the political upheaval in Bangladesh, minorities say their safety has steadily eroded. And with elections approaching, the cycle of intimidation and violence appears to be intensifying. The issue is also resonating beyond Bangladesh borders. In India, several Hindu organizations are staging protests demanding international attention and accountability. As Bangladesh heads towards elections, fear stalks its minorities. The question remains, who will protect those caught in the crossfire of power and religious politics? With Ashutosh Mishra, Bureau Report, India Today. So the targeting of Hindus and other minorities and calling Shah Rukh Khan a traitor for Kolkata Knight Riders taking a Bangladesh player, Mustafizur Rahman, in the IPL is a big talking point on this broadcast. Joining me on India First is Ambassador Veena Sikri, former Indian High Commissioner to Bangladesh. In a moment, we hope to be joined by Saleh Ahmed, a journalist from Bangladesh. Abhijit Iyer Mitra is a senior fellow at the IPCS, Institute of Peace and Conflict Studies. And Chandrasekhar Luthra is a senior sports journalist. He'll give us a perspective on what the sporting bodies are thinking. Abhijit Iyer Mitra, isn't it wrong to target Shah Rukh Khan for taking Mustafizur Rahman in the Indian Premier League? If questions are to be asked, should they be asked of the government or the sporting management? Or is there merit in Sangeet Som saying Shah Rukh Khan is Indian, he must understand Indian sensitivities?
So the first thing we need to understand, I'm going to take off from where Mr. Danish Ali's clip that you played earlier. Now, remember, Mr. Danish Ali is not known for being particularly smart or salient. So, he's, excuse me, equated having Sheikh Hasina here with having Mustafizur Rahman here. Please remember, Sheikh Hasina is a refugee here. Second, if you look at Mustafizur Rahman's career trajectory, the entire career took off during Sheikh Hasina's rule, was heavily promoted by Sheikh Hasina's rule. And this is how you maintain links with other countries. Remember, throughout the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan, when we did not recognize the Taliban, we were still funding the Afghan cricket team and things like that. And they've become a great bridge for us to the Taliban. You want to burn your own assets out there. People who are friendly to you, people who are doing your, publicity for you out there. How is that fair, Gaurav? So Shah Rukh Khan is actually doing us a great favor. Had the MEA or the government not wanted this, then through the MEA, they would have already conveyed to the BCCI not to have any Bangladeshis. The second thing we also need to remember, Gaurav, is the fact that Bangladesh is not Pakistan. We do not deal with Pakistan the way we deal with China. Different countries, different approaches. Bangladesh is also not Pakistan. Just because they have similar sounding names and they're Muslims, you can't treat them the same. Bangladesh is a whole different kettle of fish or cup of tea. I mean, I'm sorry, Bengali, we automatically go to fish. But you can't treat them the same way. Mustafizur Rahman, even his own history, if you remember, he did not go to Pakistan when he was sold to the Pakistan Cricket League. He did not go. The Bangladeshi Cricket Board itself did not let him go. He also didn't want to go to the Bangladeshi Cricket League, to the Pakistan Cricket League ultimately.
So sports a great enabler here, you say. And I want to bring in Ambassador Veena Sikri into this conversation. Give me a moment. If India did not want a Bangladeshi player, would the indication not have gone from the government, like when Pakistani players were not taken post 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks, and the nation spoke in one voice that terror and sports cannot go hand in hand, Ambassador Sikri? How do you read Mustafizur Rahman being taken by KKR?
I think that you're right. I think definitely the Ministry of External Affairs would have been consulted formally or informally. And I think that the fact that Mustafizur Rahman is somebody who was a protege during the Sheikh Hasina years. And I think that after that, he also has had his own falling out with the current regime. I do not know whether he's in Dhaka or he's living outside Dhaka. Don't know all these details yet, but it's quite likely that he's no longer in Bangladesh. You know, he may have left Bangladesh. It's quite likely. Because of all of that, I think it would be wrong to associate him with what is going on here. But I think that on this, a little bit of clarity needs to be got. Otherwise, what will happen is that while he's playing in any of these IPL matches, those will all be disrupted and so on. So I think there is need for clarity on this. And if indeed, he is going to come out and say that, look, I don't support at all the killing of the Hindus, the Muslims, the Hindus, the Buddhists, the Christians, and so on. And also the whole, the condition of women in general in Bangladesh is very, very poor. I've just seen a report about how terribly all women are being treated. They're being forced to wear hijab. They're being questioned if they don't go in what is called as modest dress. They're being, actually teased and harassed, and it's a terrible situation. It is a very bad situation. So I think our government has very correctly called out all this situation and has repeatedly said that we want all this to stop. I think this is absolutely inhuman what has been happening to the religious minorities, all of them, the Buddhists, the Christians, the Hindus, the Sufis, the Ahmadiyyas.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
more than 2,900 cases, ma'am. Give me a moment. Let me bring in Saleh Ahmed, who's joined us from Bangladesh. Sir, welcome. As one of our guests was just pointing out, Abhijit Iyer Mitra, India continued to nurture players from Afghanistan despite a Taliban takeover of Afghanistan in sports. It's a great bond, between countries, and especially when it's played in the right spirit. Unlike India-Pakistan, India-Bangladesh is very different. How do you see this controversy panning out? And do these hostile comments seem to indicate that there is an apprehension that Bangladesh could go the Pakistan way if Hindus and other minorities continue to be targeted there? Mr. Saleh? Mr. Saleh Ahmed?
Well, thank you very much for joining me. I would like to, first thank you all for bringing such issues on your TV. I would like to continue with Ms. Bina Sikri, what she just, stated. The cricket and the, sports should not have any boundary. Any boundary. Any sports is is universal. No government should interfere in sports and other things, and it's all everyone should work to unite every people in terms of sports. And I'm fully agreed with what Ms. Bina Sikri said few minutes back. And then another point, you said that, and today's topic is, Hindus are being targeted here. I'm strongly, opposing this thing. This thing we should not, this continent's people, our continent's people, all people are connected. Now, right now, I am in a program here. Here there is numbers and numbers and numbers of satisfied Hindus. Even some Hindus are surrounding me and seeing me that I'm talking in your TV and stating this thing. I think this government and these politicians and the politics, they should please leave these people. Let the people be connected.
No, but Mr. Ahmed, let people be connected. I completely agree with you, and especially India, Bangladesh. I agree with you. However, the lynching of Deepu Das, the targeting of Amrit Mandal, I can give you, these are Bangladeshi organizations, 2,900 plus targetings of Hindus, Buddhists, and Christian minorities. You cannot have, rising radical Islamism in Bangladesh and say, let's have great people-to-people ties.
Then I should, request you to point out and to collect the other information, what happening in this continent. That I am repeatedly bringing this continent. This is yes, here it is the number you have spoken, just raised. This is couple of couple of hundred times more is being happening every day in India. I'm not
That
supporting
is not
anything.
true.
I'm deadly opposed
That is not
of all
true.
these things.
That is
And
a
let
deliberate
me point out,
misinformation. That is not true.
please let me speak.
No, but
Let me
I will
speak.
not let you
Let me
speak
speak,
lies
please.
on my show, sir. I will not let you speak lies on my
I
show.
would like to say that numbers of people has been arrested, and they arrested. The inquiry team is on, and government has declared serious punishment will be given, and very shortly, and it will not be escaped out the way the other incidents which being happening every day in this continent.
Sir,
I'm not
give
talking
me a
Bangladesh.
moment.
I'm not
Give me
talking
a
India.
moment, Mr. Luthra.
Please.
Permit me 30 seconds, sir. I want to bring in Ambassador Sikri once again. Chandrasekhar
Please,
Luthra, due
please.
apologies, sir.
I like that
Ambassador
very much.
Sikri, do you agree that it's happening across the continent, whether it's Pakistan, Bangladesh, or as Mr. Saleh Ahmad says, even India?
We know what is happening in Bangladesh. That is very true. It's a matter of great concern. We know what was happening in Pakistan, and we have condemned it, and we know the relations with Pakistan. All these incidents brought it to a new low. I think in Bangladesh, we must remember that if anything happens in India, the question is how the judiciary comes on it, how they deal with it, how we, explore every avenue to solve a situation and bring it back to normalcy. But in Bangladesh today, you may say right from last August, 18 months now, it is the worst possible time since 1971. Even 1971 was only 9 months. And this time for 18 months, constant pressure. And I'm saying not only on the religious minorities, also on the women, also on the
Yes.
children. I mean, it's been a terrible situation. This kind of human rights violation cannot continue. And the government has promised again and again, even in the month of July, August last year, when about 500-600 incidents or more happened in a matter of weeks, then again they said, oh yes, we are connected. But nobody got charged. They promised to deal with them. They get released immediately on bail, and nobody got charged. On the other hand, people like Chinmay Das are in jail for more than a year without any trial, without any charges. So I think this problem has to be solved. The people of Bangladesh themselves must realize that this is not a democratic structure they have today. This is a completely unconstitutional government, and they must tell them that the name of Bangladesh is being destroyed the world over because of this. I think you just cannot.
The name of a country, the economy of a country, the society of a country, they're all being destroyed. We'll get to Mr. Saleh Ahmad in just a moment. But Chandrasekhar Luthra, sports are actually an enabler, also an indicator of a country's foreign policy. Your reading of the targeting of Shah Rukh Khan, is it for cheap popularity? The question that I posed to Mr. Sangeet Som, or should questions actually be put to IPL, BCCI? Any word from there, sir?
Well, in 2010, I remember when the auctions were going on in Mumbai after the terror attack in Mumbai. Obviously, there was a slip that went around all the tables not to pick Pakistani players. Even then, there was no formal instructions from the Home Ministry or the Foreign Ministry. Even then. And no Pakistani were picked. Later on, it was told to everybody that because of this, there were sentiments, public sentiments. So we didn't take any Pakistani players. Right now, we are talking about a country which is a friendly country to India. There are lynching incidents there. There are lynching incidents in India also. There were incidents against the Christians also here. So do we say that tomorrow in 2036, if we host Olympics in Gujarat, which is a dream of Narendra Modi, we are not going to invite any Muslim country or Bangladesh or Pakistan will be selective? No, unfortunately, you are sadly wrong. And when you are talking about this player, he's one of the key players. He's a very good left-arm bowler who has done great job during the 2016 IPL, where he helped Hyderabad to lift their only title. So he was not being chased by just Shah Rukh Khan. You have to understand, Shah Rukh is just a face. He is not the one who makes strategy for his team. There is a coach, there is a captain like Ajinkya Rahane, there are other mentors, scouts of the team, which helps him to, when he raises his baton for any auction, that is because he is being told by the person sitting next to him, a captain or a coach. So blaming Shah Rukh is obviously a cheap publicity. And this time, if you have to blame Gaurav, believe me, you have to blame the Home Ministry or the Jaisha or the Saikias of Assam, because BJP is controlling BCCI and ICC. There were no instructions from anywhere that you don't have to pick Bangladeshi players. He has been picked on his merit, And yes, I can understand because he was a Bangladeshi, Bangla-speaking person. Obviously, Bengal team was chasing him. Like Delhi always chases Virat Kohli or Gautam Gambhir or Virendra Sehwag.
Fair
So
enough.
that's what
Abhijit
the
Ayyar
sentiment.
Mitra, but what do you make of the voices that we heard through the day that Bangladesh must know if Bangladesh goes Pakistan's way, there will be consequences. You cannot have radical Islamist dispensation, peddle Ghazwa Hind narrative, and then hope to benefit from India like some seem to be trying in Bangladesh.
So, first of all, like I said, the situations are not comparable at all. Remember the very notion of Pakistan. Let's assume this is the mean, right? In terms of identity, this is where being Bengaliness is higher. This is where Islam is higher. In the starting point for every party in Pakistan, PPP, PML, PTI is here. In Bangladesh, the BNP would be somewhere here where Islam is almost as important as Bengaliness, but Bengaliness is here, and the Awami League is somewhere up here, where Bengaliness is much more important. That was the basis for the division of Pakistan into Bangladesh. So, that being the case, we need to understand that Jamaat never wins more than 12-13% of the vote and things like that. The BNP flirts with soft Islamism and things. But remember, Gaurav, why is it that even after that illegal mob took over the government, 1.5 years back, why have they still not been able to hold elections? It is because the vast majority of Bangladeshis are very much pro-Awami League. They are pro-India, and I don't believe being pro-Awami League is pro-India. Sheikh Hasina was pro-Bangladesh. She did not want minor irritants to get into the way of Bangladesh's progress, which is why she was pro-Bangladesh. They are pro-Bangladesh. They are not pro-Islamist. And they are scared. The reason they are not holding elections, have not held elections, is because they're dead scared that they're going to lose the elections. And that is the reality of it today. So let us be very, very clear. Bangladesh is not Pakistan. It is never going to become Pakistan. It is not going to go that way in the foreseeable future.
Ambassador Sikri, is that also your reading? Because there appears to be a systematic effort. There were reports from Bangladesh, and you can tell us better, that they want to stop Hindu holidays in Bangladesh. You've served on ground on Bangladesh and during late Begum Khalida Zia's regime. What is your understanding of the current situation and Mr. Abhijit Ayyar Mitra's analysis?
Oh, well, I must say that we have to understand first and foremost that what happened in July, August last year was a very meticulously designed regime change operation. It was not spontaneous. There were no spontaneous students uprising. There was no revolution. Now, the regime change operation has brought the Jamaat-e-Islami to power. And they are the real power behind the throne. Mohammed Yunus is only their spokesperson or mouthpiece. So Jamaat-e-Islami in the last 18 months is, got a super fast train running to bring Islamization into Bangladesh. And they're doing it absolutely at a breakneck speed. It is true that the Awami League vote bank is still intact. In fact, maybe last July, August, because of anti-incumbency, people were angry with her. But now, after 18 months of seeing what this illegal regime is doing, there's a complete change back, and everybody's saying, Aage bhalo chilo. But still, the fact is that the elections that this regime is planning are completely one-sided. They're only allowing the Jamaat-e-Islami and the BNP to take part. I mean, maybe it's NCP, the Students' Party, which has proved itself to be completely inconsequential, is now going back and joining the Jamaat-e-Islami. So that is, I think, it's really going to be a Jamaat group versus the BNP group. In that sense, if they don't allow the Awami League to participate, then it's just a friendly fight. And the second thing we have to notice is that in the last 18 months, the way in which Pakistan has reinserted itself into every equation in Bangladesh. They're going back to bring the pre-1971 days back again. And now they are perhaps on the verge of signing even a defense pact between Bangladesh and Pakistan. So these events are very worrisome. And I think Government of India has been quite rightly focusing that the elections, in order to be credible, must be free, fair and inclusive. And I think if that inclusivity comes, then you'll have the people of Bangladesh welcoming the return to democracy. And and I think even Khalda Zia's legacy, she did fight for democracy in 1991. So I think that
But
we
it
have.
remains to be seen whether Awami League is permitted to contest these elections, whether these are truly inclusive elections. But Chandrasekhar Luthra, T20 World Cup now starts. Though Pakistan matches will happen in Colombo, is there an apprehension over Bangladesh matches too, or all this is likely to peter out? There's a storm in a teacup.
Absolutely not. There was no such suggestions. There were no such indications which has come to BCCI or ICC. Obviously, ICC has nothing to do in this. But again, I mean, in this kind of situation. But let me tell you, cricketers are only a friendship ambassadors, and let's not reduce them to a political stooges, where our foreign minister can go and shake hands with the Pakistani Senate chief, assembly chief,
Speaker.
and our cricketers are being told not to shake hands on the field. That was a very, very bad and ugly gesture, I would say, on the field. And in this regard also, in this particular player also, he has been picked on his merit. His records are saying everything for him. And Shah Rukh was not the only one chasing him. It was also Dhoni's team, which chased him till the very end. 9.2 crores he got.
But
and
do keep in mind, sports is also an instrument of a country's foreign policy. Whether it's the Olympic Games or any other kind, sports are always used and often used by governments to send across a message. So sports cannot be insulated from politics of the day, and nation comes first. I mean, I completely disagree. I completely disagree when they say let there be India-Pakistan bilateral cricket, because it builds bridges. You can only build bridges when a country is not a state sponsor of radical Islamist terror. Bangladesh is a different story. Pakistan is a completely different story, with due respect. But Abhijit Iyer Mitra, is the ball now in the court of Mohammad Yunus administration, or their desperation to remain in power, especially with the Jamaat vote bank? Radicalism will only increase in Bangladesh, and worse could be in store for India-Bangladesh ties now.
I think things are going to get progressively worse till the elections in February, and then they'll probably start getting better. Now, as I understand it, the Awami League will contest as independents, like the PTI did in the last rigged Pakistani election. You have to understand the Awami League's conundrum as well. If they take part in the elections officially as the Awami League, they will be seen to be validating the entire mobocracy that removed them, which was actually a planned coup, the way Ambassador Sikri said. And it will also seem to be validating the process of the current election, which is, fruits of a poisonous tree, illegality born of illegality. So I think it is shaping out for the better, but we need to understand one thing. Mohammad Yunus, after this election, will not be coming back to Bangladesh for the next 20, 30 years, at least, for the amount of grift, graft, and outright crookedness that he has done. He has exposed himself to be a complete corrupt politicking crook, typical NGO type.
Except he could cling on to power through that referendum, or at least attempt to do that.
And Gaurav, he is so easy at it, which is why he is going to make things a lot worse. You are actually going to see attacks get a lot worse, which is why it is important we have people like Mustafizur Rahman and people who are shown to be standing with India. Now, see, I understand where some of these people are coming from in saying, oh, he should not be hired. But look at it from the Bangladeshi point of view. They would see him as a traitor, saying, how could you go stand with India, stand with
Or at least the radical Islamists in Bangladesh would, but not, those who know. Look, Bangladesh realizes that their progress is linked to India's progress. The fact, Ambassador Sikri, that they're flanked by India on three sides. But Ambassador Sikri, those student leaders in Bangladesh who are now distancing themselves from the regime, given this rising radicalization in Bangladesh, do you also think that the relationship is likely to nosedive in the run-up to elections? And your reading of the situation post External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar's visit recently?
No, I think Dr. Jaishankar's visit was a good one. It was a very strong and good gesture. And the letter written to Tariq Rahman by Prime Minister Modi also is a very strong and good gesture. It shows that we recognize the democratic forces in Bangladesh. But it's to be noted that Dr. Jaishankar did not meet Mohammad Yunus. I think that itself was a very strong message. A lot of the other people who were there from other countries, they met Mohammad Yunus, all of them. lined up and met Mohammed Yunus, but Dr. Jaishankar did not. And I think that itself was a strong message also, that we do not approve of what the Mohammed Yunus regime is doing, and also we blame them directly for what is happening with the law and order, with the mobocracy, with the anarchy, with the killing of the minorities, the Buddhists, the Christians, the Hindus and the Sufis, and with the treatment of women, the way they are being treated. All that message was very strong and clear. So I think that, well, if this, I know there are many options under discussion, and we don't know quite what will turn out, but maybe if they are allowed to participate as independents and follow the Pakistan model, maybe that would work a lot, because it bring back democracy in a big way, and that's what the people of Bangladesh want. But if it is going to be just this kind of friendly fight between Jamaat-e-Islami and BNP, that will really lead, because then Mohammed Yunus, he doesn't want to leave so quickly. He wants to become president.
Exactly. He wants to become, the supreme power in Bangladesh. And I want to thank all of you for joining me here on this India First special broadcast. But I want to leave our viewers with some of these very disturbing statistics from Bangladesh. So on the 5th of August 2024, the ISKCON temple in Meherpur was vandalized. A Hindu temple was targeted. 5th of August 2024, a Kali temple was vandalized. 5th of August 2024, a Hindu councillor, Hardhan Roy, was hacked to death. 7th of August 2024, a Hindu musician, Rahul Anand's house was torched. September 6, 15-year-old Hindu boy was hacked to death by a mob. 5th November 2024, Hindus were attacked by the Bangladesh army in Chattogram. 25th November, ISKCON Hindu monk Chinmay Krishna Das arrested, remains in jail. December 18, 2025, Hindu worker Deepu Das killed over alleged blasphemy. And this is when I'm quickly going through just some of the targeting of Hindus. There's a pattern to it. It's been happening since Mohammed Yunus regime took over. Systematic targeting of minorities, Hindus, Buddhists, Christians, and even Ahmadiyas and others. But we'll track that story very, very closely. Months ahead of Bengal elections, Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee is actually accelerating the temple push from the Jagannath temple in Dhaka to Ma Durga Angan in Kolkata to Mahakal in Siliguri. The Trinamool Congress says these are all cultural and economic hubs and not just religious sites. But amidst this poll push, the BJP is calling it political posturing, alleging polarization and diversion from governance. So as the state heads towards crucial elections, religion and identity politics colliding, and the TMC-BJP battle lines are firmly drawn. We leave you with this report.
আমরা এখনো মনে করি ধর্ম যার যার, উৎসব কিন্তু সবার।
West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee is on a visible temple building drive. From Jagannath in Dhaka to a massive Durga Angan in Kolkata, and now a Mahakal temple in Siliguri. The TMC Supremo says that these are not just temples, but cultural and economic hubs.
আমি সেকুলার সঠিক অর্থে, অর্থাৎ সর্বধর্ম সমন্বয়, সব ধর্মকে ভালোবেসে এমন কোন ধর্ম আমায় দেখাতে পারবেন না যার প্রোগ্রামে আমি যাই না।
But the BJP is calling these politics, not piety. They claim it's politics of polarization, rushed projects, and diversion from governance failures, especially with elections approaching.
সেখানে টেন্ডারও হয়নি, ওয়ার্ক অর্ডারও নেই। এটা একটা ভুয়া। মমতা ব্যানার্জিকে সবাই চোর বলতো, आज तक उनका नाम हलो भुआ मुख्यमंत्री।
देखिए, ममता बनर्जी हिंदू वोट काटने के लिए थोड़ा कोशिश कर रही है, क्योंकि उनको पता है कि 21 में अगर उन रिजल्ट को एनालिसिस किया उन्होंने, तो ज़्यादातर हिंदू बीजेपी के पक्ष में वोट किया बंगाल में, मुसलमान तृणमूल कांग्रेस के पक्ष में वोट किया, इसीलिए हिंदू वोट काटने की कोशिश कर रही है।
Mamata Banerjee has rejected the charge of appeasement, listing skywalks at Dakshineshwar and Kalighat, Ganga Sagar infrastructure, and multiple temple renovations under her watch, insisting that the state supports all faiths equally.
World is one, and that is our ideology, that is our theory. We love all the caste, all the creed, all the community, all the religions, and all the human beings, and our ideology is humanity. There is no alternative of humanity.
With just months to go for the crucial West Bengal elections, the battle lines are clearly drawn between the TMC and the BJP. while the politics of religion and identity start converging. Bureau Report, India Today.
Jai Ma Durga!
News coming in from Iran. Massive protests in 21 of 31 regions of Iran over the national currency collapse. The national currency rial of Iran has crashed to a record low, and there's escalating tension with the United States. US President Donald Trump has issued a very sharp warning to the leadership in Iran, saying the US will intervene if the regime in Iran uses lethal force against peaceful protesters. But I want you to look at those multiple images on your television screen of massive protests in different cities across Iran, not just in Tehran. Now, posting on Truth Social, Donald Trump warned that the US is locked and loaded to act with protesters are violently dealt with. A statement that has further raised temperatures in the region. Tehran has hit back very strongly. Ali Larijani is the secretary of Iran's Supreme National Security Council, and he's hit back accusing Donald Trump of pushing the country towards dangerous adventurism, even as protests are now escalating and capturing newer areas. Disturbing images have emerged from cities like Fasa and Hamadan, showing clashes, gunfire, street protests, fires on the street, and an attempt to storm government buildings. Now the economy is in tailspin. The rial has crashed, and in a rare admission, Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian has acknowledged massive governance failures, saying public anger is justified. Responsibility lies with authorities. I quickly want to cut across and bring in India Today's Pranay Upadhyay for more on the latest. Pranay, $1 worth more than 14 lakh Iranian rial. The situation is in tailspin. Are protests spreading to newer areas? What's the latest?
The latest situation of Iran clearly shows, Gaurav, that it is the maximum pressure policy of President Donald Trump being unfolded on the streets of Iran, from Tehran to Tabriz and from Isfahan to Hamdan. All these cities were witnessing large number of protests, widespread protests, and in fact, in last 1 year, we have seen the confrontation between Iran and Israel. We have seen confrontation between United States and Iran, and now US President Donald Trump has given a clear message that we are locked and loaded and ready to go if you are shooting down the protesters, if the violence is being used to curb these protests. So clearly, this is yet another confrontation. However, on the other side, the Iranian leadership has also given out a message. Iranian Foreign Ministry, and you mentioned about Mr. Larijani as well, clearly given out a message that we will not tolerate any foreign interference, and US or anyone who want to interfere in the internal affairs of Iran have to face the consequences. So clearly, yet another point of confrontation between Iran and the United States.
Keep tracking that story, Pranay. I will come back to you for more. And amidst this, there are also reports that Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, he's presented a plan to the US President Donald Trump. This is the time to strike Iran once again and ensure that there is a regime change in Iran. We'll be tracking that story very closely. But I want to move on to another big story that's coming in. New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani has written a personal note to to the Delhi riot accused Omar Khalid. In this letter, there's also reference to 8 US lawmakers who've urged India to grant Khalid bail. They flagged concerns over prolonged pre-trial detention. The BJP has hit right back and strongly condemning foreign interference, while the Congress has welcomed this international attention. India Today gets you more in this report.
Constitution of the State of New York.
Constitution of the State of New York.
And the Charter.
Zohran Mamdani has taken office as the new mayor of New York City. But even as celebrations continue, Mamdani is back in the headlines. This time over a letter he wrote to Delhi riot case accused Omar Khalid. In the note, Mamdani struck an emotional tone, writing that he often reflects on Khalid's words about resisting bitterness, even in difficult times. He also mentioned meeting Khalid's parents and conveyed that many people were thinking of him. The letter became public after it was shared by Khalid's partner on social media.
9 तारीख को न्यूयॉर्क में मेरी ज़ोहरान ममदानी से मुलाकात हुई। मैं और मेरी वाइफ वहाँ गए हुए थे हमारी बेटी की मुलाकात के लिए। हम समझते हैं कि इससे हमको यानी चाहे ज़ोहरान ममदानी से मुलाकात की बात हो या इन कांग्रेसमैन से मुलाकात और सेनेटर से मुलाकात की बात हो, इससे हमें हौसला मिला है बहुत। और ये मैकगॉन ने खुद लोगों से कांटेक्ट करके उसमें उनके दस्तखत लिए हैं इस मामले में, तो ये बड़ी अहम बात।
This is not the first time Mamdani has spoken about Umar Khalid. In 2023, at an event in New York, Mamdani had read out excerpts from a letter written by Khalid, where he spoke about not allowing his incarceration to turn into bitterness. There's also growing international attention to Khalid's case. 8 US lawmakers have written to the Indian ambassador in Washington, urging that Umar Khalid be granted bail and a free and fair trial. The lawmakers cited concerns over prolonged pre-trial detention in India and emphasized the importance of due process. Back home, the developments have triggered sharp political reactions. Leaders from the Congress and the India bloc have welcomed the international attention, calling the intervention significant and reiterating that bail is the rule, jail the exception.
भारत की बदनामी भी बहुत हो रही है। जब कांग्रेसमैन और सेनेटर्स कह दिए तो समझ लीजिए कि ग्लोबल न्यूज़ हो गई। मेयर का तो इतना इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं होता है, लेकिन कांग्रेस में सेनेटर्स की बात बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट होती है।
भारत सरकार को, दिल्ली पुलिस को अपना रवैया बदलना चाहिए और अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर जो हमारी दुर्गति लगातार नरेंद्र मोदी सरकार अपने एक्शन से करा रही है, उससे देश को बचाना चाहिए।
The BJP, however, has pushed back strongly, highlighting a photograph of Rahul Gandhi with one of the US lawmakers who signed the letter. The party questioned why individuals Rahul Gandhi meets abroad often take positions it claims go against India's national interests.
Rahul Gandhi ji should understand the weight of the responsibility that has been bestowed upon him by the people of this country. You cannot choose foreign soil as a fora to make irresponsible remarks, is trying to malign the image of India, and it will not be tolerated.
The BHP has also criticized Mamdani, questioning his right to comment on India's legal processes. The BHP accused him of selective outrage, alleging silence on attacks on temples and Hindus in the US, and questioned whether Mamdani's support for Umar Khalid is driven by religious considerations.
न्यूयॉर्क के मेयर को तो ऐसा नहीं सोचना चाहिए। जो अपने आप को लॉ मेकर कहते हैं, उनको भारत के लॉ के अंदर इंटरफेरेंस करने का कोई अधिकार नहीं है। उनको अपने अंतरात्मा आत्मा में झांकना चाहिए। दर्जनों लोगों को मरवाने वाले, उनके लिए आप वकालत कर रहे हैं, पत्र लिख रहे हैं, शर्म आनी चाहिए।
38-year-old Umar Khalid was arrested in September 2020 and faces multiple charges. He has also been charged under multiple sections of the UAPA. Earlier, the Delhi police in its charge sheet claimed that the riots were well designed and orchestrated, and the ultimate aim was regime change. Delhi courts have repeatedly denied Umar regular bail, though he has been granted interim bail on limited occasions for family reasons. Most recently, Khalid was given temporary bail from December 16 to December 29 to attend his sister's wedding. This under strict conditions, including a gag order and a ban on social media use. As international voices grow louder, the debate continues. Are Mamdani and US lawmakers expressing genuine concern over civil liberties, or are they interfering in India's internal affairs? Bureau Report, India Today.
The symphony of certain political leaders overseas and those in India is very interesting to watch, and we'll be tracking that story very, very closely. That is all I have for you on this India First special broadcast. Many thanks for watching.